have our first big deal for the Yankees. So this is a situation where the day prior, the Yankees had traded away Luis Cessa and Justin Wilson. And my first thought was, okay, this is probably a precursor to some moves. And now we have that. We have the answer. And the Yankees have traded for Joey Gallo. So we'll discuss it. I think some good. I think some bad with this acquisition. Definitely some pros and cons. They also acquire left-hander Joely Rodriguez, who did not put up great numbers with Texas. He seemed to be a high-leverage reliever. He did have 9 holds for Texas. So I'm not really sure where he'll fit into the Yankee bullpen, but I'm sure he will be there. I'm sure he'll be part of the active roster. There's some new, faces there now with Clay Holmes and now with Rodriguez. But that's obviously not a big part of the deal. Then they traded away 4 prospects, and all of these prospects currently at MLB.com, which hasn't been updated. I believe they're going to update it in August. So these players are actually probably higher than they are as it currently stands, but it's Josh Smith, who's a shortstop. He's ranked 14th in the Yankee system. Ezekiel Duran, who's ranked 15th. He's a second baseman. Trevor Hauver is ranked 23rd. He can play second in the outfield. And then 28th is Glenn Otto, who is a right-handed pitcher. So Otto had been in AAA, and he'd been doing really well. Then the other 3 are, I guess more middle infield, which is where the Yankees are pretty deep at middle infield between Oswaldo Peraza and Anthony Volpe and Alexander Vargas. They seem to be pretty deep there, and just the fact that there's a pretty big market of potential shortstops available in the next couple of years. So the Yankees, I think what was good in this case was the Yankees, I wouldn't say necessarily have top-heavy prospects anymore. Besides Jason Dominguez, in my opinion, it's not so top-heavy, but you could say that there's depth. And they traded away a lot of that depth. So, nothing that was... And while I think Clark Schmidt and Davy Garcia have kind of lost some luster in the last couple of years, I think most would still say that they're now at a higher level than some of those other kids, but they're younger. So in theory, there's more upside. All of them I think are an A-ball between Smith, Duran, and Hauver. Otto is in AAA. But so Texas gets some potential quality, certainly quantity. And the Yankees get Joey Gallo, who is under contract, of course, the rest of the season and next season. So this isn't just a this season move. And this is a very Brian Cashman type of move, for better or worse. It definitely is. Where it's not a rental, but I think with Gallo, he is like the perfect guy that Brian Cashman and co desire. So let's talk about for a second, I guess, just the process of whether they're going to be buyers or sellers. As much as everything being equal, I tend to be like more of a sell guy. But in this situation, and as we're recording this, the Yankees did win the first 2 games at Tampa with Garrett Cole on the mound for the last game, and that's the last game before the trade deadline. So they are kind of trending. Look, it's been an inconsistent season, but as it stands, they're certainly in the mix. So being a seller, I think, especially considering what they would have sold, that's off the table. I think it really came down to, do you want to stand pat and kind of let it ride out, or be buyers? And certainly they're more on the buyer's side. Now, we'll see what happens in the next, 30, I guess 40 hours or so here. So there's some more time. But this is certainly a big move. And with Gallo, I guess I'll give the good stuff first. It is good to have a left-handed bat in the lineup. They desperately needed that, really badly. This is such a right-heavy team, and it's funny. The only other, in my opinion, true lefty, although Gardner, obviously is a part of the everyday lineup, even though he shouldn't be, is actually Ruben Odor. So 2 Texas Rangers, 2 players that, during spring training this year were on Texas, Ruben Odor and now Joey Gallo, are the main lefty guys in this lineup. So the good thing about Gallo, like I said, it's a different dimension, and a Yankee Stadium, it was desperately needed. And I think it does give them just a little bit of a different look lineup-wise in terms of how they're attacked. Now, I was looking it up. Gallo, it seems like his numbers versus righties and lefties are not too different. It's not like he's like completely neutralized versus lefties. Defensively, he is not some sort of lumbering, like, think of Aaron Judge, I guess, where Aaron Judge is a big guy, but is an excellent defender. That's what you get with Gallo. I would expect him to play left field, but don't be surprised if, like, center field to me, it's not another real possibility. As the roster stands right now, left field makes sense, but here's a couple of things in play to think about. Now, Stanton, like, if Stanton somehow went into the outfield, which I think that they need to at least try, they really need to, then Stanton goes to left, Gallo to center. Also, if somehow, let's just say, a Clint Frazier or a Miguel Andujar came back healthy, which A, is questionable, and B, performed, which is also questionable, that could be another thing. But if Brett Gardner plays well, or let's even say Greg Allen for the time being, then Gallo on left is fine. But he can play first as well. He can really play all over the place. So that versatility is nice. And he's a good defender as well. Good arm, some good range. So that's all good. And then at the plate, certainly there's that power element, right? 25 home runs this year. Definitely someone that can put the ball in the seats, which the Yankees like. And they haven't really been doing enough of this season. Another good thing about Joey Gallo, he walks a lot. He has the top among qualified players, number one in Major League Baseball for walk percentage. On the flip side, though, second in strikeout percentage behind Javier Baez. So he is to the extreme that walk, strikeout, home run guy that the Yankees seem to crave. So that gives me pause. But like I said, I think so far what was given to Texas, I can live with for sure. Now look, Gleyber Torres is a question mark, so it's not as if like he's like, I guess he's kind of turning around lately, and I think ultimately he'll be okay. But I guess even with that being said, the Yankees should be fine from a middle infield perspective moving forward, whether that be internally or externally. So you kind of can't afford to get rid of those three guys who are middle infielders. Glenn Otto is someone who I think, right-handed guy, not too far away from the majors, in fact. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with Texas maybe by end of season. But I think that, like, that makes you feel a little bit better, where it doesn't appear. Now, again, I'm not too privy on these prospects, but just the fact that they were ranked where they were, I think they're rising. I think they've had really good 2021 seasons, but that helps. And Gallo, in a lot of ways, has to be an upgrade over what they've had. But, if they make the playoffs, Gallo feels like just another one of those guys that will he perform in that spot? I don't know. I really don't know. How will he perform just in New York, too? Can he handle that pressure, A? But also what I'm saying is the type of hitter that he is, that may not bode well for, good pitching, theoretically. So, look, it's exciting, right? Like, I think some fans were maybe not tuning out the Yanks, but they were getting frustrated, and deservedly so. And now with the Yankees, playing well to a point, right? I mean, it's kind of been Jekyll and Hyde, but with they're playing well, and now you bring Joey Gallo in, it's definitely gonna bring in eyeballs, no doubt about that. When you bring someone in, so entertainment value wise, it certainly increased, but I would expect the Yankees to maybe still be active in the next couple of days. But we'll see. This is certainly a really big move. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Jameson Taillon move, where a lot of quantity was traded to Pittsburgh, where it was Yajure, and there was a couple of other guys that the names escape me, but I think it was like a package of 4 or so guys that all could be good, but like no one, again, of top tier quality, just a lot of quantity. And that can sometimes work. We'll see. Maybe you get a kind of diamond in the rough among one of them. But I think this certainly does improve the on-field product. But I do have my fears with Joey Gallo. get ready for a lot of strikeouts, get ready for maybe not the best, again, that situational type, putting the bat on the ball contact guy. He does have opposite field power. And again, that left-handed bat at Yankee Stadium will play. And at least there's good defense. So this will be interesting. I will certainly be back to discuss the Rays series. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe another trade or two. I don't know, just a gut feeling here. But again, Joey Gallo to the Yankees.